So I've been wanting to make a video where I beat all of the stages on Fnaf 4 on Nightmare mode, but I kind of wanted to make it a bit of a challenge and make it more unique, because like obviously I can just bring the best team ever to beat all of it. As of recent events, we kind of have like really broken starters. So for my idea today, we're only going to be using starters to beat all of Fnaf 4. So let's see how that goes. Alright, so we are here in Fnaf 4 Night 1. This is the smallest map, and yeah, this should be pretty light work. But yeah, it's basically gonna be Phone Guy carrying though, not gonna lie, but I've already tested Phone Guy out, and he kind of doesn't do enough damage for the bosses, so that's where the other starters are gonna help out with, both Tarnished and Purple Guy. They're pretty good in DPS, which is why they're also pretty good as starters, but like, in terms of beating the actual swarms of enemies, Purple Guy does that job way better, and of course the slowing support from Phone Guy helps out a lot. So yeah, these other two starters are basically just going to be helping us kill the boss. And yeah, starters in this game has always been really important, but like as of lately, the starters have been even crazier than they ever have been before. I feel like starters kind of started being crazy since Patriot first released. He was like an absolute menace when he dropped, and everyone went crazy over him, and I felt like no one really expected that either. But yeah, like his value just kind of ended up being really good. Nowadays though, he just like does not do enough damage at all. But yeah, that's kind of like the opposite for these starters. They actually do like a lot of damage, which is why they're really good. Phone Guy definitely does a lot more damage than Witch and Patriot, but it's not just that, but also like he actually has full AoE instead of just an explosion damage, and he also slows down the enemies. Like all of that combined is like really insane, which is why he's still a better starter, even though someone like Tarnished has double the DPS of Phone Guy. But yeah, I mean, as you guys can tell, this has been pretty light work. Let's just see if we can kill the boss though, which I'm pretty sure we can, because usually with Phone Guy it would be pretty tough to beat the boss, but with these other starters it will help out a lot. Plus Phone Guy is slowing down the boss, so that'll give us more time to beat him. And yeah, I'm pretty sure we got this. Go ahead and quickly look at everyone's damage, and yeah, basically like Phone Guy is going to be the one with the most damage. Looks like Tarnish will get a lot more damage right here, just because against the boss he'll have more of a chance. And yeah, that is night 1. Let's move on to the next night. Alright, and we are here in night 2. So honestly though, we're also like really close to Fnaf 5 or sister locations, so Fnaf 4 will just be like a way like less hard stage anyways, like compared to Fnaf 5. But I want to like say that like even on release, Fnaf 4 was not that hard. Like comparison from Fnaf 4 to Fnaf 3 when Fnaf 3 first released, like Fnaf 4 was a lot easier, if that makes sense. Like when we first got Fnaf 4, it was a lot easier than when we first got Fnaf 3. I think that makes sense. But yeah, so like even when Fnaf 4 first released, like I could easily beat all of it with like a decent team. So it was never that much of a challenge, but like especially now it's a lot easier, and I wasn't actually able to beat it with only starters, but now I for sure can because of Phone Guy. It's mostly because of Phone Guy that I can beat it with starters, I'm not gonna lie. Like I don't think Witch Chica would be good enough, and of course these two, like Purple Guy and Tarnish, wouldn't be good enough. Like you need some sort of like splash AoE to deal with like the hordes of mobs. Yeah, we can do enough damage, but like damage to like swarms of enemies, like no, we definitely needed Phone Guy, and it's perfect that we have him. But yeah, so I'm kind of excited to see how difficult Fnaf 5 will be. It might be the same situation where it's like really easy on release just because of how strong our characters are. And yeah, that's basically what happened to Fnaf 4. It wasn't like it was just easy, it was just that our characters were too strong like right away, you know? So they might end up making it like way harder than like our strongest characters right now, but we will see. But FNAF 4 is notably harder than FNAF 3. Like, there is quite a difference. And there was like a balancing change. I remember, like, since FNAF 4 released, they made things easier because it actually was like hard for newer players to beat FNAF 4. Like, even though I said FNAF 4 was easy, I know it is still notably harder than FNAF 3. And then like a lot of players were not like able to beat certain stages of it, so they actually nerfed a lot of it. I think it was either FNAF 4 or FNAF 3. I actually kind of forgot. But that lets people thinking that Nightmare mode is actually easier too, which would be another reason why FNAF 4 is a lot easier. But no, not quite. I remember the nerfs that they did was just to every stage below Nightmare. So every stage below Nightmare is easier now. Well, it's been like a while already, but it's a lot easier. But Nightmare is still just as hard as it's ever been. But yeah, let's move on to the next stage. Alright, and we're at night 3. It does for some reason say day 3, but I'm pretty sure like most of these stages and events or whatever are like set in nighttime. I noticed that like mistake in the Wild West event as well. Also, we might just be taking some damage here. Nah, never mind. The exits is further than I thought. But yeah, phone guy really broken. He's basically carrying. The actual gameplay is like really like easy. Like it's basically just gonna be me mostly yapping. But of course I gotta make a video showing that I can do it. And of course with just starters as well. With just starters is like the crazy part. Because like I don't think we would ever be able to be like the hardest stage before with only starters. Like back when FNAF 3 first released, I don't think that was like a thing, you know. Also, I just noticed right now. Wait, no, never mind. I don't think they fixed it. Yeah. So there's like this weird random bug where Fredbear just looks at the enemies as if he's attacking them. But he's obviously not attacking them. I remember this being a thing with Spring Bonnie, and as you can tell, he's not doing that anymore. Yeah, he's not looking at the enemies. He's just looking in one direction. So I don't know if they would change that. Like fix it so he doesn't move like Spring Bonnie. But yeah, they might end up doing that. It's just a random thing that I've noticed. There's a bunch of like random little things. I should probably make a video like 5 things you didn't notice in Five Nights at events. And one of those things would be, did you notice that Fredbear looks at the enemies and that Spring Bonnie used to do that too? And I think Spring Bonnie used to do that. If it wasn't him, it was definitely Endo01. I know Endo01 did that, and then now it's fixed. So you guys can check for yourself. I think another thing that people would like might not have noticed is like the paintings in FNAF 4. Like there's like some YouTubers and some developers. They also have a bacon hair noob there. And a lot of characters as well, like I believe they usually have, oh, I don't see any characters right now, but I've seen like Valkyrie Chica before. Here we go, we got Tarnished over here. It seems like there's not that many paintings in this map. But yeah, we might get more paintings in FNAF 5 maybe, and maybe one day I'll get my painting up there. It's gonna be like Moyai head. Or maybe even like one of my drawings or something. That would be even crazier. But yeah, we made it to the boss fight, and I don't think we'll be struggling that much with the boss fight because of how much damage everyone is doing, and of course the slowing from phone guy. Whoa, this phone guy got 1,000,000 damage. Yeah, that's just insane. Like you can't just like not look at the stats and be like, oh yeah, it's a phone guy is bad or something, you know. Or worse than these guys, because he just accumulates more damage too. So yeah. Anyways, on to the next stage. And we're at day or night 4. This is taking quite longer than I expected, but it is like starters. Like if we had other characters, it wouldn't take as long. So that's the one thing about doing this. It's definitely not optimal to only use starters, even though they're like really strong. So one thing I want to talk about with like all these starters is that for some reason the only buff purple guy got was more range. I feel like that was definitely one of the most random buffs I've seen, because his like range was already like good enough. So why would they give him more range? Like if he wants to compete, he would need more damage. I guess it's just to make Tarnished and purple guy more different. So like Tarnished is the DPS guy and then purple guy is the range guy. But it doesn't really make sense. I feel like if anything, they should have done the changes in reverse. Like they should have given purple guy more damage and then Tarnished more range. But I guess Tarnished is a melee character anyway, so he shouldn't even have that much range, but yeah. I feel like purple guy is also pretty melee. I mean, like, he's only attacking with a wrench. The only, like, range aspect of him is the turrets. So we've already gone a couple days where, like, with all these starters, the only thing they've done is just buff Tarnished and purple guy. And I think phone guy still, like, is way better. So I don't think we'll be seeing a nerf to him, thankfully. In a way, thankfully. Because it kind of deserves it, but I kind of enjoy having this broken starter. I think the way that they'll compensate for it is like making Fnaf 5 extremely hard, so I can't wait to see that. But that also means that every other character is gonna have to be like way stronger, so most of the characters will be dead if that happens. But I guess that's what evolutions are for. So like I assume every evolution we have right now will be able to like compete, like still be good in Fnaf 5. But everyone who isn't in evolution right now might end up aging. Besides like the Apex as well. I think that Apex Bonnie is made to be good. But yeah, that is night 4. So yeah, only 2 more and let's see how we do. Alright, and we are here in supposedly day 5. I guess you can't really tell if it's day or night in this map. This map actually looks really similar to night 4. And this is definitely day 4 though. Or 5. Oh my god, I'm like confusing myself now. I feel like Fredbear support has... his value has gone up so much just because of phone guy. Because like phone guy with Fredbear is like an insane combo, because not only is he gonna be able to like AoE everyone like a lot sooner and a lot longer, like with this huge range they'll just be inside his AoE zone for such a long time, but also they're gonna be slowing down for such a long time as well. Like I think with phone guy it actually might be better to like Fredbear might be a better support for him than Spring Bonnie, because like even when phone guy just ends up being outdated and he doesn't do enough damage anymore to be a starter, he could end up still being a good support character with like this insane like AoE chip damage and of course slowing everyone down. Like there's probably going to be others slowing down supports who end up being better than him anyways, but like I just think that this phone guy will always have some sort of value. So if they really want to nerf phone guy, I think it's obvious that they're not going to remove the AoE ability. And it would be kind of crazy if they removed the slowing ability. Like, I feel like both of those are core mechanics to him. So I guess it would just be removing the damage or making his damage way lower, or making his range a lot lower as well. I think the route they probably would want to take is lowering his damage a lot, just so he becomes more of a supportive character with like a slight damage like bonus to him. Like they'll make his DPS like a third of what it's good right now, so then he only does like a total of 400 DPS instead of 120 DPS. And then that will make him a lot worse as a starter, but like he could still technically use him as a starter and of course as a support, you know. But yeah, I'm not saying that like I want them to nerf him. I think I would rather keep him as good as he is. But yeah, like if they're gonna do anything, I feel like that would be the best thing. If not, then just removing the slowing. But yeah, like I said, that seems a little weird that they would remove the slowing. And I still think he would be a lot better than Tarnished and Purple Guy if they remove the slowing. At least for the most part. I think the slowing definitely adds up a lot. But yeah, this boss has 1,000,000 HP, and yeah, it still seems like light work. Let's look at the damage so far. So the Tarnished are at like 300,000, and then yeah, Phone Guy is always like in 1,000,000. That's just crazy to see that he's done like 1,000,000 damage. That's how strong AoE ability is. Looks like the boss is getting pretty close, but yeah, we still beat him. And now we're moving on to the last stage, FNAF 4 Night 6. This is definitely going to be the most challenging one since they have the most HP and they give you a lot of money just so you can combat with all those high HP enemies. But we're only using starters, which you're usually not supposed to use starters for this stage, but I think these starters are just that strong. Alright, and then we're finally here to the last stage, and yeah, we like have like 20,000 cash to use. Using Phone Guy right away is just like good because he's also slowing down the enemies. Like even though it's a 30% slow, it's just insanely good. I don't know. Phone Guy is probably like a new favorite like character overall. Like obviously starter, but like just character in general. Like he might be, you know, just that guy. I'm gonna move them a little bit to right here. That will maximize their range. Yeah, he's just built to beat everything, honestly. It's just that good. With like the supports too. The supports really add a lot to it. Also, if you guys didn't know, there's like this little weird range glitch where like if you have Fredbear support next to Fredbear support, like he kind of keeps that range support even when you delete the second tower. And then like now they're both just crazy in range. And yeah, that makes their support really good. And like you also have 3 placements, so you can quite literally just cover the whole map. Like look at all of this range. Like he's just supporting all of this with his range support. And yeah, his range support is very nice. And yeah, Purple Guy's range now is just insane. The thing is that it's just not needed, you know, especially with Fredbear support. Like he already had crazy range without Fredbear support, so it's just kind of unnecessary. But whatever, a buff is still a buff. He's obviously better with this buff. It's just that he would have been better if he gotten more damage, which is what Tarnished got. So I do believe that Tarnished is the better tower. I mean, just look at Tarnished's range. Like it's good enough, you know. Yeah, if you guys have seen this short, like Phone Guy already like solos this by himself. He doesn't even need like these other guys to help him out. He does need them, he does need Tarnished and Purple Guy though to help him out with the boss though. Like the boss makes it to the exit with like half HP, so basically what I'm hoping that happens here will be that these guys have enough damage to kill the boss. And if not, then rip. I guess these guys suck. Not really though. I'm pretty sure they got it. And if they do, then that's crazy, because that means we beat all of the stages in FNAF 4 using starters. And I might try doing the same thing on FNAF 5 when that releases in like 4 days. I think it's 4 days now. I might try using the same team and see how far we get. And like if we end up losing like in the first night with this team, then that'll be like a very obvious sign that FNAF 5 is way harder, which is pretty good for the challenge. Alright, so Nightmare's Gambit is halfway there, and we're almost halfway there. I think we can do enough damage. Let's see everyone's damage so far. Tarnished is finally almost at 1,000,000, but not quite. And of course, yeah, Phone Guy is like at 4,000,000. Just insane. And yeah, we're definitely gonna be able to kill this boss. Nice. So yeah, when they all work together, like obviously they're even better, you know? Like those two for the damage so we can kill the boss, and then Phone Guy carries the rest of it because of his AoE. And of course the supports though. The supports add a lot. So yeah, that was beating all of FNAF 4 Nightmare Mode using only starters. Really strong starters. It's actually crazy like how much stronger they've gotten. And yeah, so that's going to be the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.